TV6 and Strata WebView proudly present Uintah Basin High School basketball coverage in high definition. Season coverage is sponsored by Ashley Regional, CrossFit Avenue, L&L Motor, Moon Lake Electric, Pilot Logistics Services, and the Advisor Group.
Well, welcome to Uintah High School for the first coverage this year at Uintah. We were at Duchesne and Altamont last Friday, but this time we're getting another cross-basin rivalry where the Union Cougars are coming to the under construction Uintah High School to face the Uintah Utes. So the first game tonight of our coverage live on Strata.tv is the ladies, and then we've got the guys later tonight. Of course, all these games are replayed, though, on VTV Channel 6 and High Definition 706.
Well, sorry about that,
I was actually going to introduce you. I'm Brian. Here's Mark.
Yeah, good to be back. This is my first game of the season, so to hear you talk about the Altamont game, I hear that with a little bit of jealousy. You know, that's always fun to go up there. They treat us like royalty up there. And here we are on the Uintah Ute home court, but we have two home teams for the VTV crowd.
Yep.
The Union Cougars and the Lady Utes. And, you know, next year, Brian, they'll be playing on a new gym floor, won't they?
I believe so. I'm not really versed on the whole construction project. In fact, on the way over here, I was listening to a news report talking about the new bleachers at the football stadium. I'm not exactly sure, though, what they're going to be doing here. Yeah, but it's up for speculation. There's a lot of things. They will probably still use this gym, but maybe even have a fancier one for, you know, the varsity games. They could just redo this one. I mean, they have the new scoreboards and everything, so yep. You never know exactly how that's going to work out.
Well, it's exciting to see they got the new field house going up. And, of course, this is great. The JV squads have played, the freshman squads have played, and here we go with the varsity games. This is the big ticket. And, you know, over in Union, they had that run a couple of years ago where the women for the Union Cougarettes, is that what they go by? They dominated, and they had a 4-year run where it was all Cougars, and now it's been a little bit more even this last few years, and the Lady Ute program is up and coming, and they've got some players out there, Brian.
Yes, they do. The Utes, they feel really good about the next 3 years. I mean, you look at their starting lineup, you see Christopherson out there. She's a junior. You see Elder, and, you know, she's a really great senior point guard, but they've got a great stacked point guard system right there on the bench as well, with freshman Summer Stensgaard playing a lot of sophomore and JV, and then also Riley Putnam. But immediately, Union's getting 2 or 3 shots, and they're not fouling, but they're getting the rebounds. That's 4 shots. That one's someone got a hand. Riley Putnam, I said she was a backup point guard. She's actually out there starting with Christopherson, Aaron Elder. There's Riley Putnam, and then 22.
That is Caitlin Myers. And you see what happened on that foul. Riley had the position, and had she just kept her arms up, but she leaned over, and that's caused the foul, and the referee standing right there. And so with the first points of the game, that's Chelsea Burchell, and, you know, the Burchell family's been contributors to the Union program for years, and that looked like just a nice, soft touch, nothing but net. 1-0 lead for the Cougars, Brian.
Burchell was a big player last year as a sophomore, or freshman, I believe, and now she's a sophomore.
Yeah, you look at that. She's a junior this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, logging those minutes when you're a young underclassman, and you know that's going to lead to a strong career as you get towards that senior year and you get stronger. Look at that pass. That was a gorgeous pass. Unable to convert underneath.
That was
Caitlin Myers, but the entry pass, and I believe it came from Riley Putnam on the wing. She drew a triple team, reached around the triple team with a nice bounce pass. And we're matching free throws right now.
Well, and Yardley Hatch is the other one we have not mentioned from the Lady Utes out there. So the starting 5, Erin Elder, watch for her to drive in and kick out. You saw the immediate 3-point shot to start the game. Christopherson, she can rebound, she can play inside, but she's a good ball handler. Then you have Riley Putnam, who can handle the point. She's the shooting guard right now, and now they're coming out with a full court pressure, or 3/4 court, but it's kind of like a zone pressure.
Yeah, it's a 2-2-1 press, and what it does is it does just that is the team that's coming with against the pressure beats it and then thinks they have to get a shot off real quick. And they don't get a high-quality shot, and it ends up going the other way. So the press, even though it didn't directly turn into a turnover, it turned into a rush shot and a miss.
Yep.
So then you see the Cougars line up in a 2-3 zone, and they're just daring these shorter Utes to come in and shoot against them. Three-pointer off the mark.
Christopherson for the rebound.
Wow.
Stolen away, coming down in a hurry is Lexi Anderson. Now, we haven't talked about Union's starting lineup. We'll get to that here in a second as number 30, Shayla Draper, nails that one from the side, a sophomore right there. So we got Birchall, Draper. You've also got Haley Horrocks out there. Number 10, Lexi Anderson. 23, I mentioned Birchall. 25 is the other starter out there, Hannah Horrocks. And so a lot of these are names to us because, familiar names because we've seen them the last few years.
Yeah, we're used to both teams. Like say, home teams to both the both Union and Roosevelt or Utes. Even though we're here at the Uintah, the home floor of Uintah Utes. So.
Okay, now watch with Elder getting the ball here. She's gonna that went to Christopherson inside, but
nice entry pass. Wasn't able to corral it, but.
Yeah, but watch how they drive and then kick, and that leads to that wide open shot right there. Aaron Elder's good at it, but we also just saw Christopherson drive and kick to Putnam taking that shot. Union wide open from 17 up top, no good. Elder with the rebound. Here she goes in a hurry.
She's so quick. Look, it's a 3-on-1. They should score in this situation.
And she does.
And do.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a tough position because you see what happens. Hannah Horrocks is on her heels, and Hannah's got to make a decision. Unfortunately, she gets caught between nothing, and in that case, Aaron Elder's just able to just blow right past her for the score.
Defensive breakdown right there.
Yeah.
Lexi Anderson, easy. You know, that's the thing about a full court. You break it, you only have two people to beat.
Yep.
And if you do it right, it's a 3-on-2 just about every time. So Uintah's got to be really careful as Union takes the lead 6-4 right there. Putnam to the left, and watch this drive and kick. Double team kick. Aaron Elder, kick. Christopherson inside. That's a good entry pass. Double team, though.
Triple teamed. Boy, they got to realize on the weak side they have somebody just standing there. If she could have turned and kicked to the weak side to number 5, Riley Putnam, that would have been an easy 2.
Up top, a nice fake there, taking the open lane, but drop off to the baseline. Ooh, if she would have brought that down in a hurry, she had that baseline. But she gets 5-foot shot anyway, no good. Off Elder, and it stays Union ball. Good call by the referee. I saw that go right off of her. So in the game already, a substitute, number 3, Katie Ross, another familiar name for Union. There was another, was it Katie Ross or Katie Petrus? I don't remember. There's a lot of familiar names, but.
Oh, nice steal on the inbounds pass. It's one thing you can't afford to do is a turnover on something as simple as the inbounds pass. The Utes are looking to capitalize, tie the game up.
Okay, with that zone, get the double team kick. No, that was Aaron Elder's got the whole wing right there, and no one's seeing her. 4:32 on the clock. There's another foul called.
Shayla Draper just got caught, but you look at Shayla. She's just a sophomore out there getting some quality minutes here in the varsity game. Just got caught in that defensive position where she needed to get out of it.
There's
ends
a wide
up with a
open.
little body check. Wide open 3. Oh, in and out, but nice rebound. Tie ball game.
Good rebound there from number 22, Caitlin Myers.
Cougars score and the Utes have an answer, so we have a 6-6 game with 4:14 left in the first period.
Now don't just because she's missed her first couple, Riley Putnam can definitely hit those, and she will if she continues to get that opportunity. So Union's got to be careful on that double team, leaving that corner open constantly because if she gets hot, it's going to make a difference in this game.
Did you see Hatch's baseline defense? She basically put a foot out of bounds and forced that out of bounds action. That's just that is just textbook baseline defense. Don't give up the baseline. And there's a foul.
Now that she's going to the free throw line, I'd love to see her take another dribble and a couple lengthy steps and come underneath and, put a little spin on that underneath the hoop. She definitely would have had that. But Birchall's going to be shooting free throws again. And there's not a bad thing about getting to the free throw line as long as you can hit them. And she did hit them earlier in the game, and she continues to knock them down here. 7-6, Union now has another lead. Okay, Pinnacoos, Meridian Pinnacoos coming in, number 23.
And I don't remember all the things that happened over the course of the year, but doesn't it look like Pinnacoos is about 3 inches taller than she was last year?
I don't know if I remember so much from last year.
I remember a really short, fast team last year. But maybe I'm imagining something wrong. Nice box out by Pinnacoos, draws the foul.
Already calling her name right there.
Yep, so she gets, Lexi misses and comes in hard, but Pinnacoos with just excellent position over the back. Here we go, Utes down 6-7.
All right, Aubrey Rasmussen in for the Utes. That's the name from last year. Emily Woolston-Hume in for Union. And now Elder bringing it down. Once again, a 2-3 zone. Get that double team. That's her whole goal right there. Double, triple team, then kick. They've got some shooters.
Oh,
Look
nice
at her
ball
fake.
fake. Yeah. Look, and if they just swing that ball sooner, they're taking one extra dribble. There's a jump ball.
She never quite had that control on that.
Yeah,
on
they're
that triple
quick
drop.
on that. You see that on the really young level. They just call it jump balls all the time, but that was a quick whistle. Give them a second longer to see who can come up with it.
Wide open. See if she takes it. She does. That's Myers. Oh. You don't get many of those, I'll tell you what.
I thought the bank closed at 5 o'clock, Brian, but apparently it's open late.
You're supposed to still be there, Mark. How'd you get out of there so early?
Look at the defense here.
Yeah. Erin Elder down in a hurry. She's going to push it. That's what's so great about Erin Elder watching her play. She's constantly pushing that ball down. Then she will pull back at the appropriate times, but she's definitely a reason the Utes are up 2, and they've got momentum right now, especially with that shot. And there's the drive and kick. I keep telling you, might as well keep shooting it. You're going to get hot sooner or later. Now that one a little bit way over, but
if you can hit 35% from a corner three, why not? And if you got an uncontested shot, we know these girls can make it from there. It's obviously a design part of the offense, as they're just waiting for that defense to collapse and leave that shot open for them. Boy, look at that trap defense for the Utes. Just a lot of effort. It's interesting that they would leave Shayla Draper down here in the corner. I know she can score the ball.
Oh, nice steal. She was all over that. Aubrey Rasmussen leaving her woman and getting on someone else, and I'll tell you what, she came away with that ball. Pinnacoos inside kick. Erin Elder, oh, that's beautiful fake. 10-footer, no good.
Can't get it to go, but that's going to be, oh, no, good effort.
Union ball. Union's going to push it.
Boy, good effort there by Woolston-Hume. She looked like she was out of bounds, kept her feet out of bounds, and then threw it into her own teammate.
Now, all these entry passes are good ideas, but they're just not connecting on them. I saw a great entry pass here, but you saw the Union player kind of fumble it, and that's when Aubrey got that last steal. And then right here, a good entry pass just slightly overthrown.
Yeah, it was overthrown. It's the old rocket pass,
Yeah.
That needs to come in with a little touch and let your center grab it with her hands, and it came in pretty flat and hard. She reached up with the right hand, but just could only touch it with her fingers. Oh, there's a turnover going the other way. This should be an easy scoring opportunity for the Cougars. And no, good defense, but here comes a rebound, and it's missed. Wow, boy, couple of great opportunities for the Cougars to score, tie the ball game up. Couldn't come up with a basket.
Woolston-Hume just rushed that just a little bit. And a foul right there. It seems like they're trying to put a little bit more pressure out on the arc.
Well, tonight's game is brought to us by the Advisor Group. Financial planning, benefit packages, insurance, or retirement plans. We have a specialized team to meet your needs. We are the firm of firms, the Advisor Group.
Yep, Union's starting to see that offense, and they're trying to take some
get to those passing lanes when they know the pass is coming. This is where you've got to fake a pass to make a pass instead of telegraphing where you're going with the ball. Oh, and Elder loses the handle in the paint.
They need a timeout. Uintah does. Union's going to eventually start hitting their shots and tie this game. And Uintah's just a little bit out of control.
Oh, and there we go. That's a nice spiel by Pinnacoos. And there's Elder with a nice controlled layup. That puts the score 11-7. Just as soon as you say that, Brian, defense leads to great offense, and that's what they did here. And that's tip ball. It's going to stay down on the baseline to the Cougars. Wow. Did you see Pinnacoos? She just reached out and said, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Jessica Spencer coming in to the game for the Utes. Another.
Oh, just another
no
blown.
Touch.
Yeah,
no touch.
They can't afford the turnovers on what you would consider the easy. And boy, they're not handling the pressure here. They're going to have a 10-second call. No, instead
foul.
It's a foul to number 3, Katie Ross. And Katie's a sophomore. Her older sister is the one you remember, I believe. Boy, I'm going to have I don't know if my friend, you never know who's watching it at home. But I've got some Cougar friends watching. They need to text me the name of that championship run. We need to get on Instagram or Twitter with some hashtags. But air ball here.
Nice rebound. Is that Spencer?
Just too hard, expecting the contact doesn't come, and it comes off the left side. Here come the Cougars.
That was Rasmussen in there for that one. Just barely missed, and no bucket. It's going to be on the ground. But that's just the third foul for the Uintah Lady Utes. Union's got 5 so far in this half.
Yeah, Meridian Pinnacoos, what happened right there is defending with her hands, reaching in and stopping the progress of the offense player with her hands. They're trying to do a
5 seconds. That was a quick 5 seconds. I was going to say it's probably 4 seconds, but still, she looked clueless. She didn't know exactly where she was going to throw that. Uintah's got some excellent defense. They've got some quick people out there. We mentioned Elder and Putnam, but look at Rasmussen and just the spark she's brought when she's come into the games.
Well, you know, one of my favorite things about what they do is how they run. Christy Putnam's playing them to their strengths.
That's Bailey Hughes, and I'll tell you what, she showed some moves right there. She got that ball and she took a sidestep and got herself in position for that. Bailey Hughes, when she first played her 7th grade year, I was her coach, and she was so timid, and she's got a big body for basketball. She was so timid, but you can tell she knows how to get in there now. A couple years of experience, and she's getting in there physically.
Yeah, and you see
watch
it
the
right
sidestep right there.
Boy,
that was
nice footwork
yeah.
by the center for the Utes, and draws a foul, gets up, misses the first, has a chance at the second here.
And that's good.
She put it in. You know, I go back to what I was talking about, how Christy Putnam's playing them. You know, they're a smaller team, but they're quick. So what do? I like this. They've got a trap, a full court press, you know, and they're trying to create turnovers and quick transition buckets instead of getting set in a half court where a bigger team like the Cougars might take advantage of them down here in the post. When we see a loose ball foul and like to see sportsmanship where Aubrey Rasmussen goes up and gives 5 to Katie Ross instead of, my bad.
3.7 seconds, and guess what? Uintah's in the bonus from here on out, and 4 fouls for Uintah. So a lot of calls this first quarter.
When you get into a trapping defense, you're going to see a lot of those calls. Well, that's the end of the first period, Brian. We're going to take a break to hear a word from our sponsors.
Amplify.
Ashley Regional Medical Center invites you to meet their new general surgeons, Dr. Trevor Mathis and Dr. Dennis Lewis. If you need a gallbladder surgery, a hernia repair, a biopsy, or a colonoscopy, the surgeons at Northeastern Utah General Surgery can help. Dr. Lewis has many years of experience in all types of general surgery. Dr. Mathis has recently completed his surgical residency and is trained in all the latest surgical techniques. Call today to set up an appointment.
Welcome to the second quarter. Brian Baldwin, Mark Mason. We're covering this Uintah Utes and Union Cougar mashup. The first of 2 this year because they are region rivals again, which means they play each other twice instead of just the once. And this time here at Uintah, and Uintah's got the early lead 12-7 to start the second quarter. Katie Ross has the ball left, trying to a little bit of Uintah's.
Oh, did you see that ball go through the 5-hole right there? Wow, I tell you what. Right through the legs of Riley Putnam, who also wears number 5. But the Utes get the last laugh on the possession, turn it the other way. Another wide open 3. Boy, Brian, they're not able to connect on these yet, but they're going to start dropping.
But Jessica Spencer right there gets the rebound and put back. And now they've doubled up the Lady Cougars. Still the trap. Union, it was a 6-6 game, so right now Uintah's on an 8-1 run.
Little body foul, no call. coming back the other way, but I'll tell you what, Jessica Spencer got away with one. She really hit Katie Ross and bumped her off her spot. Now, we got a correction to make, Brian. Katie Ross does not have an older sister.
No, it's just reminding us of somebody else. I mean, we know Spencer Ross, of course, but there's just a lot of Rosses over there.
I wonder if there's a relation. Remember Spencer Ross? That was a kid I got accused of liking
too
just
much
a little too much. The Park City fans
yeah,
didn't
exactly.
like that. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, wow. Look at that
Boy,
scrum on
it
the
is.
court.
It's going both ways. We're right here. Wow, there's a foul, loose ball foul, and it got a little helter-skelter out there for those last 2 or 3 possessions. And usually a loose ball foul is what happens when you get playing frantic like that.
On the possession before that, Christofferson had an entire lane to drive, and she tried the cross-court pass and threw it away. I'd like to see her – now she's at the free throw line because she got fouled right there and there in the bonus, but I'd like to see her take that open spot she had briefly there for a second. Instead of looking past, take that shot from 5-8 feet, you know? I mean,
yep. I always tell the kids I'm coaching, you know, I know it's a different level of ball, but I'd say if you see the orange, put the shot up.
yeah.
You know, if you don't got somebody in front of you, that's what we work for is an open shot. I don't care if it's from the three-point line or 2 feet away.
Yeah.
But
we have a similar philosophy. I think if you're open, you should be able to shoot it. Why are you playing basketball if you can't shoot? You know what I mean?
yeah, you should always, the first option should be a shot. That's the point of being on the court. Boy, this press is giving the Cougars a really hard time, Brian. And this is really what's turned into this 16-7 lead. Boy, the Utes have got it clicking, and the Cougars have got to figure out a way to break this press. They are frustrated, you can see, as they lob those balls up over the top. Here comes that trap, and so far the Utes have handled it pretty well.
Well, the problem is Katie Ross right there is allowing – I mean, if Riley could have turned that corner, she would have. Katie Ross isn't – they're not necessarily staying between them and the bucket. They're kind of giving them one way or the other, and that's why they're able to kind of take that double team, go inside, and then
Boy,
kick.
the Utes are dominating the offensive boards here, and they're getting it on the weak side. That should have been a foul. Well, I'll tell you what, Katie Ross came down with the tomahawk. Pinnacoos missed badly and no call. So here comes the press, the screen. She goes right into a corner. Pinnacoos not able to seal it.
Nice pass. Look at that, Burchell, right? Oh, blocked by Bailey. Bailey's about to get it. Oh, they're going to call a foul. Too many hands in the cookie jar right there.
Bailey's got to do one thing with that ball. She's brought it down almost every time to hip level. You know, she's going to go shoot some free throws right now. But, you know, a center's got to keep that up, chin high, elbows out.
Well, Bailey Hughes, a sophomore, but she's really kind of the age of a freshman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So she's one of the really young end of the.
Yeah, she's on the really young end of the sophomore timeline, I guess you could say, for her birthday, and she's getting a significant amount of varsity time, and now she's hitting some big time free throws. And Elder's coming back in. So is Myers. And there's a timeout
on the floor. Well, tonight's sponsors are, this game's been brought to us, by CrossFit Avenue, family and student discounts. No matter your fitness level, if you have the desire, we can train you. CrossFit Avenue. I want to thank them for bringing this game to us tonight. I didn't see who called the timeout, Brian. Was that on the?
I believe it was Union just calling a
30-second timeout.
Yeah. L&L Motor, people you know, people who care. You can become their fan and like them on Facebook. Go find L&L Motor on Facebook. Also, go to llmotor.com for coupons and daily specials. We always appreciate those sponsors because it's what makes this possible. We've got people who can't make it here, people watching on the internet streaming live, and the live stream brought to you by Jiffy Pawn Shop. So we've got some great services through Strata Networks and VTV, where this game is live, also going to be replayed on Channel 6 and 706 high definition.
Yeah, you'll see that game Wednesday evening. Also, you can visit the website, vtvchannel6.com, for season broadcast schedule and coverage details, and you can watch the games anytime there. Boy, another offensive rebound by the Utes, and that's kind of the tail of the tape here. They're out hustling the Cougars right now. Oh. Three-pointer just short, and the Cougars coming fast the other way.
You know what you do? You don't tell them to stop shooting. You just tell them to keep going. Look at that rebound, and it's going to be a foul on the floor. That's only the 5th on Uintah. So
yeah, that's Riley Putnam coming over the back. 0-0.
But you don't stop taking those shots.
No.
They're getting closer. But you can see specifically Aaron Elder's going in and kicking. And until Union does something to, number one, stop that drive from going inside, that's why I say they need to stay between them and the hoop. Number two, give it to her right there. Underneath, she's trapped though. 3-second call.
3-second call. No, nothing.
Up, she's safe and good. Now they're going to call another one.
Another foul, and that's on number 22, Caitlin Myers.
But you do not want to stop taking those until Union forces you to do something else, because already up 10, that can easily put the game away. You know how quickly a game can go away with a 3-point shot.
Yeah, or how quickly another team can jump back into it. Ooh, boy, can't handle that.
No, they can't. She just lets it go. Oh, wait.
It's going to stay, and that's a tough call. It could have gone either way.
From my viewpoint, it was out on her.
And, and we have the right viewpoint because from the corner we're sitting at, Brian, we're right on top of this hoop, which is really, really fun action. Boy. And here comes a little full court press from the Cougars, so maybe in that timeout they called a man. It looks like a man full court, but nope, no, now they back off, so maybe just on that rebound they were coming up with the pressure.
Well, Union cannot buy a bucket right now.
Look at her stop. I mean, she just changes directions.
Jamie Sprouse in there just gets knocked in the schnoz. But Bailey on the block. Wow, nice move. Did you see her? Did you see her muscle in there? I'm sorry. I'm happy to see that because she's grown so much in the last 3 years.
But I'll tell you what, as good as her move was, better on the other end was Lexi Anderson's block, flat-footed block, and she just said, Bailey, not in my house.
Well, and you know, Lexi Anderson's standing next to each other. They're about the same height. Well, Lexi Anderson may actually be taller. But you saw down here the previous possession, Bailey Hughes also did a little flat-footed block as well. And so, you know, get them up in the air a little bit. But Lexi's at the free throw line, hopefully putting a stop to the bleeding right now. It's been almost a quarter of time since they've scored.
They had a lead at 7-5.
Bloody nose. I told you she got hit in the nose.
Yeah, right when she came on the court, she took one right to the honker.
Yeah. So Jamie Sprouse didn't last very long. She'll be back, though. She's just going to stop the bleeding.
Speaking of stopping the bleeding, who's going to do that for the Cougars?
I don't know. It was about 4:51 in the first period when it was 6-6, and now Uintah outscored them 10-1 since then, and Union just cannot get a bucket in there. And there's another. I mean, there's no blood to clean up. What are they doing?
I can't tell. Well, they get the ball in there and Elder, and here we go. And this is great. I like her wearing those red shoes because it makes her feet look twice as fast.
Wow, that's quite a jump stop shot.
Boy,
but
look at that! We're gonna call that a dime instead of an air ball. What a pass underneath, and the conversion. Elder almost with a steal. They better be careful. They got to cross that half court line, and they're not going to do it on time, Brian.
They're there.
Oh.
10 seconds is a long time, and that's going to be a block. Yeah,
it's a block.
It's going to be a block.
She tried to sell the flop.
Well, I think she also just lost her footing trying to stay with her. But that's good defense, good pressure defense, but isn't that a 1-and-1?
It should be the 1-and-1. They've missed it. Ball's inbounds, and that's up to the coach to see if
free throw line. Oh, she's excited. That was way long.
Boy, that could have been a travel as easy as anything.
They cannot stop this bleeding. Put it in there. Bailey, and she can rip that away. And see her calm demeanor. She's rough on the court, and then she's just whistle blow. She's
easy.
done.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
And she's going to go to the free throw line. Bailey Hughes is. That's one thing about, having the big rebounding position like she does and the height and everything that she has is that she's going to get fouled. She's going to get hacked. People are going to think that they can't take it away. Also because of part of the problem with her bringing the ball too low. But don't get her up here swinging those elbows because we might see something else happen.
Yeah, we've already had one bloody nose. We don't need another.
Nice bank.
Wow.
How many points does she have just from the free throw line? And
that bank shot was brought to you by Mountain America Credit Union.
That's 3 points. No, 13. No, yeah, 3. I'm sorry. I can't. 3 points for Bailey.
I'm going to have to talk to the bosses about getting a sponsorship for every time somebody bricks one off the glass and in.
Well, the bank, yeah. Mountain America. Let's see the every other term, like a dime, that can go to Mountain America as well. And
man. Oh, look at this. Sneaking inside and kicking it out. Flat shot missed, but
get it down in a hurry.
Offensive rebounds. Had I been keeping a stat, but I can mentally remember 5 already.
Little walk before she put that dribble down, but no call. Oh, they cannot get that ball in there. Bailey rips it away. Christopherson down to Elder. Elder, oh, she's going to back it out just for a moment. But, hey, why not take it? I told you, just keep shooting it.
Here comes an offensive foul. Number two, Aubrey Rasmussen.
That's just hustle. That's a hustle foul right there.
Yeah, what coach is going to get mad if somebody on your team is battling for position on an offensive rebound and gets a foul called off?
Well, and you watch this game, you watch the way she's running around, and I'll tell you what, I mean, she's putting so much effort on down there on the court. This is her playing time she's playing for as well.
Did you see that? Bailey came out. Bailey Hughes, excuse me, and she got a standing ovation right here behind the bench.
Really?
They stood up and clapped her on. They see what she's doing out there. That was kind of cool.
Yes, they do.
It's a pretty good crowd, you know. For you're used to the Union Cougars coming out to the women's games, but we have a really good crowd here tonight for the Uintah women's varsity game tonight.
Lane violation after the first free throw is good. The second one is no good. So, stop the bleeding? No. I mean, they need a whole lot now to really stop the bleeding. They need a bunch of defensive stops mixed in with about, I'm going to say 6 or 7 points before the half.
First points in about 9 minutes by the unofficial count.
Yeah, Union needs to be down no more than 22-15 by halftime. Well, there's 21 from Aubrey.
Boy, what's been an Achilles heel for the Utes in past is free throw shooting, and they're not having that problem tonight. They're shooting a high percentage right now.
And it's off. Union coming back.
Oh boy, look at the hustle. That's the shooter that trailed the ball all the way around, and even though she caused a turnover right there, kind of losing her balance, what hustle by the Utes.
Oh,
man.
Come on.
I don't know what's going on. You can't go on the whole game like this. But
no, you can't. Well, it's like Uintah's three-pointers. Pretty soon they're going to start falling. I mean, we just saw another one. Oh, here we go.
Oh, and a bad pass takes away what would be a sure two-point bucket. 3:13 left in the half, and the Cougars set up in their half-court offense. And here comes a post play. Nice move.
Oh,
and there we go.
That's good. All right, is that Horex?
That broken piece of glass was brought to you by, oh no,
Jones Paint Glass. When you hear that crash, I don't know. You can also say crash the boards when you hear that. No, I don't know.
We gotta stop.
There's too many terms in sports that go along with that, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense.
Hickers with three. Boy, the threes aren't going, but they are not afraid to set them from deep.
Oh, too late. If she could have turned and thrown that in one motion, that would have been fine. Looks like they're okay, though. They've got the ball, and they're going to set up here momentarily. Horrocks, step inside for two, trying the bank shot again. But, she's out of credit, I guess.
Something's going on. Is that a timeout on the court? It looked to me like Caitlin Myers has a dead leg.
Yeah, she's on the bench. You can see right there.
Something's wrong. What if she's not feeling well? She is definitely gassed, whatever the case may be. And you see Coach Christopherson down there kind of just saying, all right, breathe with me. It's this like Lamaze right here, you know. Is that what it is, Lamaze?
They're not pregnant.
Well, I know.
But if you are, Ashley Regional Medical Center.
Hey,
with an OB clinic in Roosevelt, right?
Yeah, they have 2 locations, Vernal and Roosevelt. The Roosevelt Clinic offers full services, lab, X-ray, women's health, including OB services. Thank you, Ashley Regional, for helping VTV Channel 6 bring this game to all the folks that are watching at home. Watching on the live web view right now, the streaming web view at www.strata.tv.
It's just deep breathing techniques. I don't know if you'd say Lamaze, because that does kind of generally say, for the most part, your breathing techniques for labor and delivery. But
I got a brown paper bag we could take down there, and she could suck it.
Well, it looks like she's back on the court.
Yeah, whatever ailment she was suffering, perhaps she's looking to do a Game 6 NBA Finals 1998 version, Michael Jordan, and just look at that defense. No wonder she's gassed. Off her foot. That's too bad, because that was a nice drive there by Shayla Draper. She had a step, and the ball goes off her foot. But 21-10, 1:52 left here in the first half.
There's the kick. Take it. On the line, though. But he's
No,
going to
he gave her the
yeah.
3, but on high definition, we could definitely tell her toe was on the line. There's nobody in the home crowd going to complain about that call, though.
Now, I saw his hand go up, so when I said 2, I was just, well, yeah, I just saw a foot on the line. There they are, out of control. It's just they're not very contained, and this might be the young team that Roosevelt has. I mean, Union's only got Haley Horrocks,
Wow.
Megan Kettle, and Tessa Butterfield as seniors.
I didn't see the call. She either stepped on the line, I believe that's what it was, unless they gave her an offensive foul. Did they give an offensive foul there? I don't believe that's what happened. I think she stepped on the line, and it's what you're talking about, that out-of-control offense. We got a timeout.
Well, no, that's a 5-second call. The defense was too tight. Aaron was just kind of dribbling around, yeah. But the full court pressure, and with Uintah, they've got such a deep bench. That's why they can do this. And that's why you've got people playing hard, too, like Myers and Rasmussen. They're playing for playing time because they know they've got a young core coming up. Uintah does. With Hughes, with Putnam, with Christofferson, with Sprouse. We've seen them all in the game. They're all juniors and sophomores. And so these seniors and other older classmen just trying to make sure that they get their due. Jessica Spencer, a senior.
Well, you see that. Jessica Spencer, I have to do this. Yearly Hatch and Jessica Spencer. 2 plays in a row did textbook post defense. They stood up straight, and all they did was alter the shot of the shooter.
Yeah.
They didn't swat at it, and both times the shooter missed. In this case, boy, there was a lot of bodies on the court, and then off the glass to make it 24-12.
Erin Elder taking it herself. But rebound.
Another offensive rebound and putback.
Yep. And I mean, 26-12. Union still is just not making any kind of dent in this lead.
Well, the whole lead is pretty much predicated on offensive rebounding.
And there's I was thinking a 3-point play, but no, she's going to go to the free throw line. That is Lexi Anderson.
Well, they've got quite a coaching staff. For years there was a kind of a coaching cartel for the women's. It was it Rick Nelson? He was the coach, wasn't he? I believe that's right. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But they've got Atlee Zip, Brett Prevedel, Blake Heaton, Diana Killian, and they've got this program back up. They came off that state championship year, and then there was a pretty rapid fall off.
Yeah, you just get a core group of girls together, and they just seem to really click. Just 1 year and maybe 4. Every team goes through it. You just get that 1 year and 4 where it's just like you've got these excellent players that just all click. Then you get the stars like Erin Elder, and if they come at the right time, then you mix both teams together like they have this year, and it just works. Double team. She's got the double team, so now she's trying to draw 3.
Oh, just missed on the bounce pass. Yeah. 11 seconds left. The Cougars have got to get some points here. 26-12. They're down by 14. They get a foul.
What?
And
pushing off. Oh, she stepped out.
She stepped on the line with the pressure. That's unbelievable. Well, stick with us. We're almost to the halftime. We have the halftime Bigfoot Pro Shop Entertainment. The halftime entertainment is brought to you by the Bigfoot Pro Shop.
Usually a good performance by the cheerleaders and or the drill team.
Oh, and we always like to show the drill team. So with Bigfoot Pro Shop, we've got you covered for all your outdoor adventures. And Brian, we look at the scoreboard, and there's no surprise to anyone that's watching the game. The Utes right now are just out hustling the Cougars. It's coming on the offensive glass. It's coming on the defensive pressure. They lead 26-12. We're going to take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be back for the Bigfoot Pro Shop halftime entertainment.
Tired of fast food type financial planning, benefits, and insurance plans? At the Advisor Group, we have specialized teams for financial planning, retirement plans, health benefits, and insurance. That's why we're the big city firm of firms for your local and professional needs.
Now, please welcome your U.S.
On your way to the great outdoors, stop by Bigfoot Pro Shop on North Vernal Avenue. We've got you covered. Bigfoot Pro Shop. Just look for the giant fly in the sky.
Lake Electric has been a staple in the basin for 75 years. And though many things have changed through the years, one thing stays the same: our dedication to keeping the power on and our priority of doing that safely. We now have a Facebook page, which can be accessed through our website, allowing you to receive energy tips, outage reports, personnel changes, and feedback. Moon Lake Electric thanks its members and employees for 75 years of keeping the power on.
Western Petroleum may have changed their name to Pilot Logistics, but the employees that you have always counted on locally are still the ones here now. Pilot Logistics continues to provide the Uintah Basin with cardlock services, bulk fuels, lubes, and oils, just as they did when they were Western Petroleum. Call 789-1832 for information about the services offered by Pilot Logistics. Western Petroleum would like to thank all of their valued customers for the many years of providing services here in the Uintah Basin and look forward to serving you in the future as Pilot Logistics.
With more towers locally and the only true 4G LTE network in the Uintah Basin, you get more with Strata Networks. Enjoy fewer dropped calls, the basin's fastest and most reliable network, nationwide coverage, and the latest technology that keeps you connected like never before. Visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal, or call us at 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Wow, nice good ball movement, and that turns into just easy bucket.
Father at the halftime, Yearly Hatch, and there isn't a Ute out there that hasn't put it all out on the court in the first half, and they continue their run right here. They've extended the lead 28-12. You know, and my favorite part of coming to the Utes games, Brian, is seeing what Robin McClellan has next for the field team.
Every year it just gets better, and they continue that run as state champs.
And you keep thinking, okay, she's going to do the same thing again this year because there's no way she can get creative again. And sure enough, the creativity comes. Boy, you look at that. 3 offensive rebounds on the Cougars side, turns into points, 28-14.
Haley Horrocks there with the points.
Entry pass is picked off, and here come the Cougars, 3-on-1. What are they going to do with it? And it turns into a blocking foul. Boy, Brian, I don't mind drawing the foul, but when you got a 3-on-1 fast break, you got to turn it into at least 2 points.
That's only 2 fouls on her.
Yeah, Aaron Elder with 2. Lexi missed up a chance. She had runners, and sometimes you got to reward your teammates for running with you. Looks like it was, well, it's a good decision so far. She made the first. Now if she makes the second, I'll just shut my mouth and go home.
Elder getting a rest already, maybe saving her in case it gets a little bit closer in the fourth quarter. She's only got 2 fouls, but as aggressive as she is, she's one that can get fouls in a hurry.
Makes both free throws.
28-16.
Have fun calling the rest of the game. Well, I talked to the Ute coaches at halftime just to see, you know, what it, because I haven't seen them play. Nice shot, boy. The pump faking in, and here comes Caitlin Myers with 2, and we continue to see this 2-2-1 full court press, and the Cougars handle it easily this time. Good, quick defense, but that's even a better offense when you can hit the little pull-up 5-footer like that.
Already we're seeing a difference in Union. Uintah's firing away as well.
Well, anyway, I talked to the Ute coaches. I said, is this how they look all the time? And they said, with the only difference is that we usually hit our 3s.
Well, that's why I say just keep shooting.
Yeah.
It'll happen sooner or later. This is your home court. Once you feel it, you know where you'll be. You'll know exactly how it's going to go. Birchall had a shot there. I'd like her to take that. 10 feet, nope, short, rebound. Uintah.
Well, these last two possessions for the Cougars are better than what they've had. A lot of rush, a lot of helter-skelter, but here they got it in their half-court set and actually got 2 good looks, made 1 out of 2, and here comes Pinnacoos with a nice runner on the baseline.
They might just like this side of the court better because they're hitting their shots like crazy now.
And good passing, and that's how you got to beat a press. You cannot dribble through the press, and it's quick up the sideline passes, turnover on the entry pass again, and we have a timeout on the court.
Butterfingers right there. I tell you what, they're having such a hard time handling those passes.
Yeah, they are. This game brought to you by Moon Lake Electric. In operation since 1938, owned by the people they serve. Moon Lake is a cooperative, not privately owned. I want to thank all of our sponsors, and we did enjoy the Bigfoot Pro Shop halftime entertainment. So, sometimes you wonder what they say in there, in their timeouts. And you wonder what the players are actually absorbing.
Well, let's take a guess. So far, Christie's got to be happy with the offense, but the defense has already given up more points this quarter than they did almost all second quarter. And we're only 2 minutes, 54 seconds into it. So Christie's saying, hey, let's solidify the defense.
You know, and part of that, you can't blame it on the players. You got to give credit to the Cougars because what they came out is instead of indecision and dribbling, it's quick, snappy passes, rotating it around and getting an open shot. So when you do that, I don't care what your defense looks like. If you're quick on the passes, you're gonna get better looks, and they already have. And like you say, 6 points already to open the third period. So here comes a full court press of their own, and the Utes look like they're pretty well prepared for it. And they just reverse it, and there's a turnover. Got a little too patient, and Hatch sat back and waited on her heels for the pass. And there goes, it turns into points, 32-20, and they've got to come to the ball a little bit, and this is where you've got to get Elder back in if they're going to, and that trap is dangerous.
That's a smart play by Christofferson, though. Don't waste the timeout. Just throw it off of a foot.
Yep.
And Union's, I mean, they just need a couple more of those. They're right back into the game.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, especially when you make it easy. An unguarded layup is pretty easy to make. So here comes the two-man trap at the top. Just trying to deny that middle entry.
She steals up all the way.
In the same place, and that's a little bit of a spacing issue. One of them has to realize they're not in the right spot. Pittacus continues not to connect, but the three-pointer leads to a long rebound. Another offensive board. Bailey can't convert, out of bounds. Utes ball on the baseline.
Well, Bailey with another good, powerful move there on the block, but just overshoots it as she did get some space to put up that shot. Sometimes the closer you are, the bigger you are, the softer touch you have to have. Christofferson a little short on that, and Horrocks coming the other way.
Yeah, the Utes, the only reason the Cougars are still in the game is because the Utes' poor shooting in the first half, and it's the distance, the poor shooting from distance. They've done really well in the paint in both halves. What do we have on the ground on the drive?
Just the first foul on Union, so it's going to be underneath.
Caitlin Myers, one team foul each. 4 minutes left in the third period. Waiting for the substitutions. In comes 34, Wilston Hume.
Pittacus wide open. There goes.
Boy, you knew one of them had to go down. And from our position, was there any question that ball was going in?
Absolutely not. Did they give her 2 or 3? Because they haven't. I don't even think they've given her the points yet. No, well, it was just a 2.
Yeah, just a 2-pointer flashing on the board. So her foot must have been on the line, but she clearly has a green light. They all have a green light to just bomb away from the three-point line.
And like you said, usually they hit them, according to their coaches. So,
wow, that's
beautiful
just a
drive.
Gorgeous dribble drive. And that's going to be Shayla Draper with just a nice play. And the Cougars are doing what they did at the early of the first period, which is matching the Utes basket for basket. In fact, they cut into the lead a little bit. Boy, that's just a silly foul.
Yeah, it looked like she wanted to backhand her.
Hannah Horrocks, and she's just reaching there. And especially when you're on the top of the key and there's no traffic around you, it's an easy call for the referee to make, which they do. 2 team fouls each now. Nice drive.
Well, that's a way to draw the foul, even when it doesn't look like he even got much of a shot there. She brought that down like holding it like a running back and tried this little running underhand scoop.
Yeah.
Well, she really didn't. It didn't look like she was in position to really make that shot, but Union bailed her out right there.
Yeah, Lexi Anderson got caught swiping down, and that's a good time to play straight up defense because the player's out of control and you're trying to scoop shot. Yeah, there's some athletic people in the NBA that might be able to make that, but on the prep level, that's a difficult shot at best. Good rebound there by Lexi Anderson. She brings it up. Looks like the Utes were trying to force her left, so she just went left and blew past everybody. And that's Casey Christofferson coming in, playing that lead point on the defense.
They're giving that foul to Bailey. That's number 3 for her. 1, actually. I'm sorry, that's her first.
Well, less than a minute ago, we had no fouls in the second half, and now we have 3 on each team.
But more importantly for Union, they're hitting their free throws, and they're getting some points on the board.
Yeah, what was a 14-point lead is now 12. She's trying to make it 11. And, going into the fourth quarter, you always hate to see a double-digit deficit. If you can cut it down to 9.
They're just a bucket away from that.
Yeah, cut it down to 9. Anything can happen in the fourth quarter, especially if for the Utes, as much as they practice the press, there's a 10-second call.
Timeout.
Oh, no, timeout. Okay, there's timeout. And patience by the Utes, but Putnam thought she must have been close to a timeout or to a 10-second call. Tonight's game is brought to us by Pilot Logistics. Western Petroleum may have a new name, but we are still the same great company you can rely on. Pilot Logistics.
Well, Uintah's played 10 or 11 girls this game, and the scoring's pretty spread out, 1-4, 4-3, but in case he had just tuned in, I'll tell you what, Myers has most of the points for the Utes, 15 points And she's done it quietly. I mean, we've seen her be a trooper. At halftime, she's still sitting on the bench. Obviously, something with her, her breathing. She's winded. Something isn't right. But
she might have a stomach flu type thing. She might have asthma. We'll have to ask her.
But just watch her play. She's playing just as hard as anybody.
Oh yeah, you'll watch her on that trap up on the top, and she hustles. And when the pass goes around, she's the first person to recover. Look at the defensive pressure by the Cougars. Good defense. Bodying her up, making her have to work on the dribble.
Well, you don't want to give her that angle right there where she can get by it, because then that happens right there.
And then you see Christopherson just cut that back door. And when you as a defender kind of telescope and you look at only the ball and you lose your defender, that's what happens, or you're the person you're defending. Whoa, get a little chippy there between Christopherson and Chelsea Burchill.
Yeah, jump ball, good call. Now on defense, Katie Ross, one thing she did is she was straight up, wasn't letting her go one way or the other. Then a screen came and they did the defensive switch. But once Putnam was able to get that angle to get around Katie, then you can do whatever you want. You've got to cut down that angle.
Yeah.
You can't let them get around you like that.
Yep. And that comes from the defender that's defending the person screening. They have to slow that dribble drive down until there can be a recovery.
Three-point shot.
Oh, my. I thought it could have been an and one, too. So look at the score now. 27-37. Turnover. It appears a turnover. The Cougars are giving the Utes problems with playing their own game.
Sometimes you don't know how that happens. You pick up the ball in a scrum like it was. I mean, they lofted the ball for her, but there was a little scrum. There was a player on the floor, and she basically had to kind of weasel her way around some arms to throw that up. Not an advised shot by any means, but sometimes it just goes in, and it's just one of those things you don't understand. So
quick feed to Elder causes the pass, going down to the post.
Single digits, no.
Oh, man.
So close.
And then we got an over the back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wilson Hume called on that one. I didn't agree with that over the back. She did tap it out of bounds. Either way, it's Uintah's ball, but I didn't agree that it should have been called a foul. Just in case you wanted my opinion.
Well, that's what we're paid to do, is give an opinion.
Just looked like, honestly, she just tapped it out.
There's a very specific reason why I don't wear stripes. I don't want to be the guy that's wrong. Because you're wrong 50% of the time anyway.
There
goes the broken Pinnacus. Oh, boy, I thought she got a Bailey. What a nice rebound. Bailey Hughes with a great rebound and putback. Pushes it back to a 12-point lead.
Okay, about 1:30. Burchill, nice move there to get Elder off her just for a moment. And inside on the block. Lexi.
Oh, my goodness.
Rebound,
what a nice move.
Oh, gosh, they're just not getting those. They're just not getting those that they should easily get off that board and hit down. I mean, that's the difference between a 12-point game and a 4-point game right now. Wide open, and you know what? They're going to start hitting them.
Yep. You called it.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy, you're straight away and nobody on you. That's actually my favorite place to shoot the three ball from. 58 seconds left here in the third period. The Utes have extended it by 1 point of their advantage at halftime. Now a 15-point lead.
And Union's playing great.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's a good shot.
Well, essentially this quarter has been played to a draw so far, and that's.
Well, Uintah's starting to run away. Bailey up again.
Missed
hard.
the easy one. Little bunny there. Elder had to go track that ball down and then get it back to Bailey. You look like an easy two, and sometimes when they're that easy, they're really hard.
Well, you rush it. Sometimes you don't have to rush it either. She didn't have anybody around her for a while. Lexi, nope. Oh, she just can't do anything with Bailey Gardner. But foul on the ground, so Riley Putnam's going to be called for that one.
Another team foul. That's going to make the Utes have 4 as well as Union. They both have 4 team fouls. Pretty evenly called on both sides of the ball.
Jamie Sprouse coming in after her bloody nose. She was in a whole 5 seconds
let's
earlier.
See if she can last 10 seconds here. We only need her for 20 right now. Bailey with good defense, but even better offense. Boy, nice ball fake. Then you see a little shift to the right, and Lexi Anderson puts home the little two-footer.
42-29. 7 seconds. 6, 5. And Union gets the steal. No, they had it. Jessica Spencer. Oh, there's a foul.
Called a foul.
1.2.
Well, you usually let them kind of run to the end of a period like that. 1.2 seconds left. 5th team foul for Union. I think that's probably the more important key to that, is that it's the third foul for Lexi Anderson. So now we have somebody in foul trouble. Lexi Anderson has her third, and she's the only player on both sides of the ball that have 3 team fouls. Missed shot. We're going to go to the break. 39-29. So the Cougars, 42-29. The Cougars chip 1 point off the lead. We're going to take a short break and hear a word from our sponsors.
Support for VTV's high school sports coverage is provided by Ashley Regional, CrossFit Avenue, L&L Motor, Moon Lake Electric, Pilot Logistics Services, and the Advisor Group.
Amplify.
Okay, a fresh 8 minutes on the clock. Uintah's got a 13-point lead, and you said, Mark, double digits are never good. I always say you're in the game is where there's as many minutes left in the game. If that's how many points you're down, you still got a chance. 8 minutes, 13 points. It's getting to the point where Union may not, unless they do something really quickly here, Union may not have a whole lot left. Lexi Anderson in there immediately getting the jump ball, and then she wins it for Union as Elder tries to take a shot, and that's off. Birchall will inbound. So 7:52, 42-29, Mark.
Well, 42-29, they played the third quarter to essentially a draw, and the Cougars couldn't afford that. Now they've got to outplay the Utes. Let's see what kind of game it turns into. Good quick passes here, and it leads to a good shot. And a nice offensive rebound.
That's a good shot.
Boy, that is a good shot.
That's tough.
And you talk about what causes that. It's the hustle of Lexi Anderson getting the offensive board, recognizing the double team, and a nice bounce pass creates the points.
You got to move your feet, Union defenders. Watching them, even though they're triple teaming along that half-court press, they're not moving their feet, and Uintah's just dribbling around them. See, number 10, Lexi, was a little flat-footed right there. And if Birchall hadn't been there, that was an easy layup for Myers.
Yeah, here comes Chelsea Birchall. After scoring the points, sometimes you got more energy than everyone else. You score your basket, and you're down there, you're out hustling. A nice touch pass on the entry to Hatch.
That's
Boy,
up and
it gets
down,
bumped.
yeah.
It's either got to be a foul or travel. There's only one way to call that.
Well, I thought it was travel or up and down, either one, but turnover Uintah. Now that's the way to go. Mark, that's the only time I will actually run to the other side of the court is if I had just scored.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm jogging or walking.
Yeah, I might make it to the three-point line if I miss a shot. I might.
Well,
boy, look at Elder. She just reaches out, two-handed grab, and takes that ball away. And here comes the Utes in a hurry the other way. 11-point lead, Elder with the ball.
Mark, I was going to say some of those churches have the three-point lines equal. So you take one, you're already on defense,
Yeah, you're right on top.
Dribbled out of bounds, turnover, really unforced. I mean, she's dribbling out of bounds. It's basically the same as dribbling off your foot. You got to know where that line is.
And it's good baseline defense. Don't give them room to dribble down there. And if you defend it right, that's what happens. They have to run into you or go out of bounds. And the Cougars played good baseline defense, coming back the other way, trying to chip into that lead of Uintah. 6:31 left. They've got to do it in a hurry. And that's not how you do it. There's an out-of-bounds pass by Katie Ross.
I saw no effort to go get that.
Yeah, and
from
sometimes you talk to the players, and the turnover's not the fault of the person that passed it out of bounds. It's the one for not hustling after it. Boy. She got the bloody nose, and now she's got a broken back, but she's going to the line. Number 11, Jamie Sprouse.
42-31, 11 points. First one up and good.
See that technique? That's how I teach the kids how to shoot at first, is I make them put their left hand down. And she did that when she was shooting. She just took her left hand off the ball, so it's all a shot. Let's see if she does the same thing. Might be a pattern here. It's kind of an interesting thing to see at the line. Yep, left hand off, takes a shot, good spin, but just missed it slightly to the right.
So back to a 12-point lead. It can be cut to 10 right here, but the clock's ticking. The clock's the enemy right now. Birchall takes it in a little too hard over the back.
Wow. Who did they call that on? Because I'll tell you right now, Lexi Anderson had as much position and right to that ball as anybody. I see the call is on, yeah, they gave it to Lexi. She had a legitimate beef, and that's going to be her fourth, and that's dangerous for the Cougars.
And bonus time, too. My goodness, bonus the rest of the way, Mark.
Yep. 3 quick fouls and I talked about that 5th foul right at the end with 1 second left in the third period. That's a big foul because, like you say, it creeps you right towards that bonus. And we know the Utes can shoot the free throw, and if they continue their hot hand here, that's where they can ice this game. You know, last week you had the men's varsity for the Utes. She missed the first on the 1-and-1. That's a blessing for the Cougars. No score, and the clock stopped. But the Utes could have.
She just stepped over, came back. They nearly called they did not call the over the back. If her foot doesn't leave backcourt and she steps over half court with 1 foot, she's straddling the line. Can she step all the way backcourt?
I think, me personally, if I'm interpreting the rule, it's where the ball is.
Well,
but I could be wrong.
But if you've passed half court and then your foot is even on the line, even if it isn't the ball, they still call you.
They'll still call that.
So I was wondering right there because she was straddling the line, came across, then came all the way back, and then came across. That's when the Union coach called a timeout.
43-31, 12-point lead. 6:02 left in the period and in the game. You know, tonight's game's brought to us on live stream by Jiffy's Pawn Shop, proud sponsor of the Strata WebView live stream. Everything from guns to vacuums, we buy, sell, trade, loan, pretty much anything. Thanks, Jiffy Pawn Shop, sponsoring tonight's. Boy, I can't even talk. Strata WebView, the live stream.
All right, 5:45. They got to get something here. Cut it down to 10. Is that a push?
Oh, they got a push. You would think maybe with the tight defense, the defenders has the burden to do something. Boy, did you hear the coach? He's screaming for them to get him off of her. Ball's on the ground. Looks like it could be a jump ball. No, it's a turnover.
And back.
And we turn it over, and let's see how many times we can go back and forth on this.
Oh, man.
Boy, good defense by Elder. And then coming back the other way, Casey Christopherson gets position, even though she's the shorter athlete. And here we go to shoot 1-and-1. Wow, that was just a heads-up play by Christopherson.
Well, she's a very good down-low player. She's never been really tall. But she's definitely physical, and I think that's the skill she has. She knows how to box out. She knows how to play inside, and she can shoot from inside too. We can see that some of the players tonight have no touch either side because, I mean, they're banking these off the backboard hard, where you almost do have to call Jones Paint Glass because, I mean, these things are hitting hard. But Christopherson is good around the basket. She knows how to put that in. She can also hit the free throw, as you'll see right here. A little short. She has been short today on a lot of her shots.
And they've missed the front end of the 1-on-1, 2 trips down the court, and boy, right into our cameraman. That's Danny Moore down there. No, that's Danny's his dad. That's going to be
Kylie Moore.
Boy.
Kylie Moore.
Kylie Moore. Boy, you know, I hope he doesn't watch the rebroadcast to find out that I forgot his name. That'd be a little embarrassing.
Union inbound underneath.
Boy, nice. Oh, and you just got to go up strong when you get that ball.
Birchall put it up. Hurry. Oh, there you go.
Nice, nice thought. They just don't get it. Hatch can't come up with it. It's going to turn into a jump ball. Yeah, you look down there, and the sense of urgency just doesn't seem to be there.
Well, Uintah's done. I mean, they've had a sense of urgency all night, and the ball's just kind of falling in their laps at this point. I mean, they're not taking any time. Jessica, well, she's not much of a shooter from out there. I've never seen her take a whole lot.
Ooh, the dangerous cross-court pass. Elder splits 2 defenders, then loses the handle. They're going to credit Lexi Anderson with a block probably, but
she lost that ball as she was going up.
Yep.
Okay, 4.5, still 12 points. I mean, they've been sitting at 12 points for 2 minutes off the game clock. No ground covered, but maybe right here. Nope. Lexi Anderson's got to get up, put that up. Nope, stolen away by Jessica Spencer.
They got to be careful with the fouls.
Oh, Christopherson.
But that's okay. Maybe
easy layup. Wow, you just kind of push her out, yeah. That was a big body pushing Christopherson out of bounds. Not really extending the hands, but just, as soon as Christopherson would pivot, you'd just take away more and more of her space. Pretty soon, Christopherson just kind of falls over. All right, 4:18 on the clock. Let's see, we've got a full timeout. Pilot Logistics. We knew them as Western Petroleum, but they're still the same great company you can rely on. Pilot Logistics, a great sponsor of VTV high school basketball.
Putnam's really centered in on Hatch right now. She's got to be telling her something, Right up in her face.
Can you read lips? Okay, I just saw ball. Get the ball.
Fake a pass to make a pass.
Yeah. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, I know whenever I'm in one of those timeout things, I got about 1,000 things to say, and I'm so excited I can't say 10 of them.
Yeah, I usually just say, all right, guys, play hard. Or drop a play, but
well,
they're in
when you got a 12-point
lead.
Really
they're in a
right
good
now,
position.
The key is protect the ball, take some time off, take 20, 30 seconds off per possession, get a good shot, and then just play straight-up defense. The last thing we need to do is get 2 more fouls, put them on the line, and score with a clock stop. So the Utes right now will be in the double bonus with any foul the Cougars make. On the flip side of that coin, the Utes only have 5 team fouls. The Cougars, so they have 2 more team fouls to give before they're shooting free throws. And we had a little confusion. Usually by the time you give the ball to the player, it's too late to take it away. So the referee is doing an icing of the Ute player. I think he's from the Roosevelt side of the ball, though. So that's a fair thing. Would that be?
You're funny, Mark.
Oh.
We know exactly who he is, but no, once you get out there, I'm sure it's just like in a game. You zone in. You don't really sit there and say, oh, I like this team. I'm going to call for this team.
No, yeah. Once you're out there, you're actually competing just like the players are. You're trying to do the best job you can. It's easy to take a shot at the referee, and whenever I've put on the stripes, the first thing I do is swallow the whistle so I don't have to call anything. With the left hand all the way past all the defenders. And just can't get a shot.
Birchall's going to go to the line.
Yep. 16 foul for Uintah. 45-31, back to the original halftime lead of 14 points. That's the 3rd team foul for Caitlin Myers. And wouldn't you think that with the aggressive style of defense, that more players for the Utes would be in foul trouble than are right now?
Yeah, you really don't see many of them in foul trouble at all. Good to see them hitting a free throw, 45-32. It had been a while. They'd been stuck at 31 for a while.
And I think the reason they don't see that is instead of defending with their hands, they're doing it with their feet. They get in front and they do it quickly. Makes
Good.
both. And here's the full court press.
So Birchall's got 7.
They got to find the soft spot in the zones, and Hatch is content to sit back and not go into that hole and then the full court pass, and that's going to be points for.
Oh, nice block.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. What a recovery. Christopherson thought she had an easy one. And what a block. Was that Haley Horrocks that came down with the block on that one?
Yeah, you saw Christopherson going up even like she's taught with the left hand and everything, and Haley just gets up there.
Yeah, and they're content to just dribble the clock down right here, you know. And why not? I don't see any reason. Oh, nice pass to Hatch, and Hatch gets in. It forces the foul from Horrocks, and she goes to the line. Wow, that's how you do it. You bleed, 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 and then when you get through, what a gorgeous pass. And Hatch, with nice hands, catches it in traffic and draws a foul.
Well, you kind of sit up there at the free throw line. Then as soon as, I mean, if they're dribbling back and forth, you can sit up there at the free throw line all the time you want. You're not blocking the arc. You're not in the 3-second land. But once she sees Christopherson start to go down the lane, she rolls on the other side of the lane. It's great spacing is what it is.
Yeah. Hatch hits one of two, and it doesn't matter how the fouls come. They're going to shoot 2 for the rest of the game. Nice spin move. Did you see that, Katie Ross?
Yeah, that's a nice move by Lexi right there too. That's a great series right there. We saw the spin from Katie. We saw Lexi use her pivot foot to make that initial move.
Yeah. Once you get past a press defender like that, then it's 5-on-4, and the bucket should come easy. And the Utes split a whole bunch of defenders and brings the ball down to her feet and asks the Gopher to steal it.
Well, nobody's right there on the ball until Riley comes back and taps it to Pinnacoos.
The Utes have got to remember that they have an 11-point lead and not to hurry the ball.
Oh, you got to get better shots off than that.
The jump ball, and that's going to stay. That's going to go to Uintah on the jump ball.
Got to get better shots off than what we just saw right there.
Boy, the way the Utes were going fast right there, Pinnacoos, just chucked up a 50-50 ball. Protect it. You got 10 seconds to cross the half line.
There's some more aggressiveness, but they're going to call a foul. Christopherson going to the line here.
Yeah, that's Lexi Anderson's 5th, I believe. If they give it to Lexi, I believe that's her 5th for the night, and she might be taking a seat, and she looks like she's bit her lip or something anyway. She was a gamer tonight, and she's bleeding. She's going to go out to the bathroom. 12 points, and they need her offensive production, and now she's no longer part of the game here. And they set a 20-second clock so they can put in a replacement for her. So in comes Maddie Ivy, a senior. I believe is this Maddie's first minutes of the game?
Yeah, first time I've heard her name or seen her out there.
Yeah, she dove head first right there at the feet of, I think it was Erin Elder. And you saw her come up, and she immediately was cupping underneath her hands. So Casey Christopherson hits the first, 47-35.
Now, the time I did mention that she's a great free throw shooter, she missed, but she's made 4 or 5 in a row right there. So
this is kind of the all-in approach. Never take the foot off the gas. And they full court press here late into the 4th period, even with a 12, 13-point lead.
That's a good move.
Boy, but that is a good move. And you see Chelsea Birchall come in, and she's had a couple of big baskets right there in the post after they've broken down that press. Hatch, with some patience, gets the ball back in, and now they're set up in their half-court offense. Tonight's game brought to you by L&L Motor. Become a fan and like L&L on Facebook to be entered into their drawings.
She tries to call a timeout, but it's a jump ball before that.
Jump ball, that's going to go to Union. It's an 11-point game. Basket here, and then you have potentially three scores to tie. So it's not over, Brian.
No, 2 minutes. I mean, a lot can happen in 2 minutes. 5 buckets, really. Like you said, that's all you need. Mix a three-pointer in there with a couple trips to the line. Birchall is a good one to have the ball right now, but she struggles from about 7-8 feet. She's really good underneath.
Yeah,
if she can set right there, she was just in motion going toward the basket, and that's such a hard touch shot for a young player. Way to move your feet right there. And Union, see, that's where Uintah cannot just sit down and take shots. They got to back it out and take some time.
Christopherson's got to be aware of the game situation, and that leaves a 3-ball. Oh, I thought she hit that. That
was close.
You know, coming stone cold off the bench. And right here, Maddie Ivy has a wide open 3, and it looked good. It got every part of the rim except the bottom. But then the foul sends him back the other way. So we're going to have Riley Putnam. How much fun would that be to be coaching your kids on the high school level?
Well, you know, they've known this has been coming for years. Their daughters are good players. Even back in 6th, 7th grade, she had a hand in, I'm sure, coaching her in the younger groups. Then being head coach, she has a great deal of influence over the junior high coaches as well. And so she's known this has been coming.
Yeah.
And they've grown up together, these two girls. Not only they're both their mothers, the two coaches for JV and varsity, but they're also very close, their families. So they've grown up together, and that's part of the bond of this team, this junior squad, who's getting a lot of playing time tonight, and the stars like Erin Elder, and then some of the other ones like Aubrey Rasmussen, who came in, and
Jessica Spencer.
Who's number 22, Caitlin Myers. You know, she's got most of the points tonight, 18 of the 49 points. You add a couple stars in with this team that's been together, and all of a sudden it just comes together. And, you know, they are having an off night. They're not shooting, and they're still putting up 49 points and a 12-point lead.
50 points from a high school girls team is a tremendous scoring outing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you see a lot of these high school prep games that are 24-32 kind of games. You know.
Well, just 4 of those 3-point shots made, and it's 60.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 61. So, yeah, this is a good team, and they've known that it's been coming.
That's interesting. It would be, you know, it would take a certain kind of athlete that would have to take that. You know, we look here at the picture, and we got the Ute Crazies out. I don't know if they're called the Ute Crazies. What do they call them? I don't know. It's the Cougar Crazies. But here they are supporting the women's basketball, and I'm sure they're going to get fired up for the men's varsity. And the men's varsity, that's an interesting, they're having an interesting year. You know, they've had some off years where there's been only 1 or 2 or 3 wins, but they're playing 500 ball right now, and they're about 10 points away from being undefeated. Because all of their losses have come in the 1 and 2 and 3-point varieties right now, Brian.
And that's where if a team matures, then next thing you know, they're winning the 1 and 2 point games.
Yeah.
A mature team, you know, a good team will lose a lot of 1 and 2 points, but a good team will win a lot of those 1 and 2 points.
Yep.
I mean, a mature good team.
A mature team.
Add the two together.
Team.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
A great or mature good team.
Yeah, and you got to lose the 1-point game to figure out how to win the 1-point game. So some learning experience, especially as they head into region play, and that's exciting because the Utes on both sides of the ball are playing at all levels, and we got a little cleanup on the floor. Was there some blood spots from when there
may have been
when Lexi Anderson went out? There may have been, so they cleaned that up. 1:20 left, 12-point game, all but buttoned down to see what the Cougars can do. And boy.
Those are the shots that they've got to hit to stay in these games.
And they haven't made them all night. So it's one of those nights where you're going to lose by double digits, but, you know, next time they get to play on their home court, and they probably won't miss that many. And, you know, they'll only lose by 12 as poorly as they've shot the ball tonight, all night. Gives them hope, and, you know, that they're going to be looking for some little payback when we go over to Roosevelt.
Yeah. Well, it being the first game of region, it's also the last game of region. So we will be over there in Roosevelt, but it's probably toward the end of the year.
Well, that might be a good time for us to look at our schedule for the upcoming season. You know, we had the first game. You went out to Altamont.
Well, it's Duchesne, and Altamont came down to Duchesne.
Oh, yeah, you're down Duchesne.
But that means we've got an Altamont and a Tabiona visit coming up.
And misses both, but then the Utes do what they've done all night. Offensive rebound. Riley Putnam waits patiently for the foul, and she goes back to the line. Yeah, I don't know if we can get that schedule up. I'd like to take a look at that. Well, if we don't get the schedule up, you can go to VTVchannel6.com and take a look at this season's schedule. I also want to remind you, if you want a DVD or a Blu-ray copy of tonight's game, you can go to the same website, vtvchannel6.com, or you can call the friendly folks at VTV at 781-1902 for your copy today. And when your daughter scores 18 points in a region rivalry game, I would say that the Myers better be on the phone.
Yes. And we're going to be right back here this Friday night. Morgan visiting the Lady Utes here. 5:15 Friday night.
Yeah, Morgan new to our region.
And they're good.
But Morgan can shoot from anywhere on the court. That's a well-coached team, and we're going to have a battle on our hands. And now 41 seconds left.
Don't loft it like that.
Yeah,
you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, what you want to do is, even if they score, just don't foul them. At this point, just
hurry, get it down court. Bailey's open.
Yeah,
Look at her
Elder
right
was
there.
just a nice little wait, and as soon as she saw the opening, she was gone. And I don't think, in that case, that Maddie Ivy, was looking to foul. I think she just got out of position, had her knee stuck out. 51-39, 12-point lead. Elder at the line. Elder's only scored 4 points, and if you looked at the box score with her fifth right there, you would think, well, she didn't have much of an impact on the game, but she controlled the tempo.
Especially that first half.
Yeah, really when they won the game, she controlled the tempo on everything they did, and it was her penetration that opened up the shots for the shooters, both on the three-point line and down low. Boy, another quick forced shot from the Cougars, and they're just going to want to get home from this one and reload. Sometimes you have an off night. So Brian with the final score, 53-39, the Lady Utes won on their home court. The Cougars are going to want to have a little retribution when it comes time when they travel over to Roosevelt. But for tonight, the battle was won by the Utes, and now they are 1-0 in region play. We're going to be here tonight. If you're watching on the Strata.tv live stream, we're going to be back in a little bit for the boys' game. Before we part, Brian, any last thoughts?
Just that Roosevelt, the Union team out of Roosevelt, I'll tell you what, they don't look bad. They look a little raw, but they may fix that by the last game of the year against the Uintah Lady Utes.
Yeah, the shots were there. The touch was not.
No,
and
not at all.
you can fix the touch, and then they'll start dropping, and that's a whole different ball game. So with that, we're going to say goodnight for this game. We'll be back in a few minutes for the men's game versus the Uintah Utes and the Union Cougars.
Support for VTV's high school sports coverage is provided by Ashley Regional, CrossFit Avenue, L&L Motor, Moon Lake Electric, Pilot Logistics Services, and the Advisor Group.